Bob, if the sole condition of having everlasting life is having faith in Jesus, then why does Romans 10:9-10 say, "With the heart one believes unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation"? Don't we also have to confess in order to be saved?
We do have to confess in order to be saved in the sense that Paul's talking about there. But again, the issue is, what does sozo, the verb to save, or the noun soteria in Romans mean? It doesn't mean salvation from hell. I'm sure you know that in the famous justification section in Romans 3:21 to 4:25, that's all about justification. It's not about salvation. In fact, I'm sure you know that the words save and salvation, don't even occur in 3:21 through 4:25. When Paul talks about salvation, he's talking about being delivered in this life from God's wrath, and that's even clear in Romans 10:10. So with the heart one believes unto righteousness. That's dikaiosune. That's the noun form of the verb dikaiao, to justify. So with the heart one believes unto righteousness, that is justification. So he's saying right there that it's only belief that's justification, and we already know that from 3:21 to 4:25. But with the mouth confession is made unto soteria, unto salvation. And by the way, that's brought out in very clearly in Romans 10:13 and 14. Because you remember in Romans 10:13, he says, whoever calls upon the name of the Lord shall be saved, right? Every commentator sees those as parallel, Romans 10:10, Romans 10:13, because salvation in both cases, and both are involving a confession, some sort of verbal statement, right? Well, Romans 10:13 is a quote from Joel chapter 2, and it's talking about Jewish believers at the end of the tribulation. And it says, whichever one of those cry out to the Lord Jesus, they're going to be saved from death at the end of the tribulation. And this is brought out, by the way, in verse 14, because in Romans 10:14, there's a progression. It says, how shall they call upon him in whom they have not believed? Well, how shall they call upon him in whom they have not first believed is the point. The ones doing the calling in Romans 10:13 are believers. And how shall they believe in him in whom they have not heard? They've got to hear before they can believe, just like they've got to believe before they can call. And how shall they hear without a preacher? Well, they've got to have the preacher before they can hear the preacher. They've got to hear the preacher before they can believe the preacher. They've got to believe before they can call. So take a look at the context. It's crystal clear that Romans 10:9 and 10 isn't simply talking about how a person is justified. It's talking about how justified people can be saved from God's wrath.